Hello everybody, I'm Bob J. Goldman. Today I'm going to read this. The Girl Who Lived Twice. Here we go. What do you mean? It was hundreds of things in a way. We had picked up information on the radio about an emergency in our expedition, and perhaps my mind was on that. Then I must have recognized that the clothes and other details. But above all, there was something eerie about the smaller of the bodies. I remember bending down and looking into the face, and there wasn't much could see. The hood was pulled over the head and forehead. The sunglasses were still in place. The cheeks, nose, and mouth were coated in ice. The whole face was buried under a layer of snow, and yet I knew. It was Klara, right? It was Klara and Victor. She was half turned on her side, with her arm around his waist, and there was no doubt in my mind that I would be leaving them like that. But that uncanny feeling would not go away. She seemed to be frozen through and through, and yet I thought I detected something about her which was not altogether lifeless. So I pushed her away from Victor and tried to get the snow off her face. I couldn't do it. It was too frozen, too hard, and I had no strength in my hands. So in the end, I got out my ice axe. It must have looked absurd. I lifted off her sunglasses and hacked at her face. The ice chips went flying, and Sventa yelled at me to stop and get on down the mountain, but I kept at it manically, and I did try to be careful. But my fingers were frostbitten, and I didn't have proper control. I injured her. I opened up a gash in her lip and chin, and there was a twitch in her face which I took to be movement caused by my hacking, but no sign of life. Still, I took my oxygen mask and put it on her and held it in place for a long time, even though I myself was fighting for breath and not at all hopeful. But suddenly there was an intake of breath. I could see it from the tube and the mask, and I stood up and started yelling at Sventa. But he only shook his head, and he was right. Of course, it didn't matter that she was breathing. She was as close to death as one can be, and we were at 27,000 feet. There was no hope. She was beyond rescue. We would never be able to get her down, and our own lives were at risk too.